every single location doesn't actually have a random chance to have whatever item.
Mm-hmm.
If it decides to give you that power bomb Chozo pack, like deeper into the run, it's going to make sure that there are no other power bombs in the easier sections along the way.
Yep.
So if you don't find them early, then it's going to be a long haul.
Yeah, there is a very sophisticated chart available for those who want to learn about the Chozo placements. It is on, I believe it's on the Varia Randomizer site. It's on the Varia Randomizer site that you can go and look up. Basically, it's under the statistics tab, and it has all this information in there, and you can see all the different locations that are available. It considers and what the probabilities it will give to each of the items. Like for example, the suits kind of have very low probability. They have no probability whatsoever in criteria, and they have kind of low probability in Brinstar.
Right. The only caveat to that, I agree with you. You can find out some good information looking at that statistics page. The only problem with it is that those statistics don't explain to you the texture of the seeds from which they were pulled. So no, I'm serious. Like, so the chances of a certain like suit or something being at some of those locations, it might be higher or lower depending on what else you found along the way.
Yeah,
so it's very complicated.
I laugh because it's so true that just the experience of playing these seats will tell you so much about what it is that you're going to get. Like, here's an E-tank, and that.
We got bombs from the Alpha location, which is great. So they have the bombs, which means they're going to have to fight BT.
That's true.
But that also means we don't have power bombs. Now, I'm not saying that they won't find the power bomb soon, but you're less likely to find that power bomb if the game goes ahead and gives you bombs early.
Yes.
Because it knows you can get through a bunch of sections. So we might be in for a bit of a search here.
Or screw attack is the other one it'll give you, and be like, haha, power bombs, you're not getting them till way later.
Right. The great thing about regular bombs, though, is it does not lock you out of certain situations in, like, Pink Brinstar. Like, for example, if you only had screw attack, you wouldn't be able to check charge beam.
That's right.
So they're feeling pretty comfortable with regular bombs. I love regular bombs, personally, because they just let you play so naturally.
I agree. I think of the options there, having regular bombs and no power bombs is still really good, because as you said, you can just bomb all those bomb locations, right? You're still locked out of the power bomb doors and power bomb blocks, but that is less of a problem than just not being able to bomb through things that are normally bombable.
That's right.
So cross product there with the check under Old Mother Brain, getting another E-tank. I think that's, he didn't get the E-tank in the ceiling.
What he did is he skipped the reserve tank. There was a reserve tank at the beta missiles location, and so he skipped those. But here you go, ladies and gentlemen. So what you can tell the logic is doing here is it wants you to be able to get to the bombs location. So it has to give you some form of missile early, and so since it gave bombs at the Alpha missile location, now it has given a super. That'll be our way to get into the the bomb location. And then it could be that the bomb location is just regular missiles or something that doesn't actually progress us, but we do have the ability right now to get all the way through Big Pink in terms of bombs and a super missile, so they're pretty comfortable right now.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, this is a decent start. There are better starts, but this is a pretty decent one. There's those missiles, cross product, not picking them up, doing some kind of a dance. All right, and that is what Super Missiles does for Bomb Torizo. Really, really ridiculous fight there.
I'm a little surprised that neither one of them did the 2 missiles in a super method, because supers are pretty valuable. At the same time, though, one thing I love about Chozo is you don't have to do the wave gate, so the missile count that you have early in the game is not as Scary. Oh, it looks like both are going to do Gauntlet.
Yeah.
How about that?
Well, Gauntlet is the statue. There is a statue there, and so I think while I said there's like basically no probability for certain things there, example the suits, or it's a reasonable check for a good movement item or something like that.
It is. I'm not going to say that I think it's a bad check. The only flip side is there are still, as I mentioned earlier, only a few items where the time investment you take ends up like working out. And if I were Cross in particular, I'd probably want to skip this and just hope that it wasn't anything.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I think the most likely scenario here is an E-Tank, though. I'm hoping for something good for both of them, but I think an E-Tank is probably going to be the most likely scenario.
Yeah, an E-Tank. Yeah. A good movement item. High jump boots. That's really, really what they want here.
Yep.
Oh, the even worse option. A reserve tank. Cross, both of them going to get it, though.
Varia Chozo, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go.
Yeah, the other thing with this, though, is it is going to, if they continue through, which it looks like they're both going to continue through, they're going to go to the back of Gauntlet here, and they will have the ability to pick up both of those minor locations. This back of Gauntlet, by the way, is ridiculously... This is a really nasty area.
All right, looks like both are going to be fine. Thank goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And as predicted, all right, I need y'all to pay attention to Sloater screen and on crosses real quick. I just want to make sure everybody understands. This is part of the understanding that the Varia is not actually, randomly placing items, okay? It knows that it doesn't, like, this seed does not want them to have power bombs. So there was basically a 0% chance that there was going to be a power bomb there.
There could have been super missiles there, which would have been really good for the runners, but double energy tanks.
Right. This seed so far is making a point. Azure doesn't know what he's talking about. Don't listen to him. Basically, there was almost a 0% chance because if you pay attention to the texture of the beginning of the seed, it is making a point that it does not want you to try to progress with power bombs this early. Instead, it has rolled a either medium or slow speed or whatever. And so for that early power bomb item, so you'll see here in a minute that we'll continue to find a bunch of items that aren't power bombs unless it's in the Chozo location that is either at charge or at the, what do you call it? The location that's Spore Spawn.
Yeah. Spore Spawn Supers. So, there's some more super missiles there for Sloaters. Cross product coming in here to early supers. So no.
And there it is. There's that power bomb I told y'all that was coming. So that means that our power bomb location is probably going to be in the near future. That you can laugh, sir.
No. No need. No need.
Now, we've got, was that our second super missile pack at the location for the reserve tank? So what we're seeing now is Sloaters is going to grab the super pack. He's got 2 more Chozo locations to check. You'll note that even though they had power bombs at the end of the green tower, they did not go down. That's because there's no Chozo statue down there.
Yeah, there would just be a bunch of miners down there. Maybe if you're really wanted ammo, you'd go down there, but...
Yeah, the only time I usually go down there in Chozo is if I need to refill on power bombs, but that doesn't typically happen unless power bombs is one of the early Chozo locations or whatever. Ooh, we got Grapple Beam early again.
Yeah, interesting. That, I think, means that they're going to go over to X-Ray for sure. I can't see why not. There's a Chozo statue over there, so it's... absolutely one of the major items. So the other thing to see here is what is going to be at charge beam. This seed is really being generous with super missiles. 25 super missiles there for sloaters.
Yeah, huge. I mean, that super missiles are extremely overpowered in Super Metroid. So when you get a seed that gives you that many of them, it really allows you to be a little more open with what you check along the way to Ridley. But if you don't get enough along the way, I've seen, myself and other people run into situations where they have really tough Ridley fights or really slow ones. So they probably will not have that situation come up in this particular seed.
No. Wow, there's another super pack for sloaters at the pipe missiles. And the Green Hill Zone. Wow. See, now there's that X-ray scope again. Early X-ray. Cross-product saying nope. And sloaters picked it up.
Yeah, we saw that happen last time too. I think Cross skipped the X-ray and Sloaters got it. Unfortunately, Sloaters wasn't able to use it last time.
Yeah.
But it would have been a great time save had he been able to.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. You get that microwave beam after you're done all the bosses that it could be used on.
Okay. Let's really hope this time, and I'm not saying this as a joke, I really hope that Cross remembers this time, because he's probably going to want to check the X-ray location. All right, look, he's got it selected right now. So he just used it, he knows he's got it, and hopefully he won't run into any trouble.
Yeah, Sloaters run into a little bit of trouble there. Recovering nicely, but...
Ooh, Ice Beam.
Ice Beam, yeah, you definitely want that. Just the Torian movement alone that allows you want that. Freezing of the Metroids, the ice Zeb skips, you want that. I like how both of our runners, though, were prepared to absolutely just jet and skip the item if it wasn't good.
Yeah, which is a bit, I think that's maybe, I guess it just depends on how you want to play. Everybody's got their own method, but I think that might be a little bit minor muscle memory. In Chozo, you're way more likely to find, good items at every location because of the smaller number. So usually I just run into things because... you can make use of the missiles and stuff regardless.
Absolutely. Yeah, if it's on a Chozo statue in Chozo, you almost assuredly want to pick it up.
Obviously, there's situations where, like, you got plasma early and you don't want to pick up space or something. That's understandable. But generally speaking, there's not as much reason to skip things. Oh, wow. Early gravity.
Wow. That is... Now, so really interesting here is that cross product went down Red Tower, so not going to be finding that early gravity. What kind of difference do we think that's going to make for their routing?
I don't know. I mean, basically right now, you want to... well, there's multiple things, and again... It just depends. We don't have as much data on Chozo as we do Major Minor just because we haven't had, as many thousands of races or whatever. But generally speaking, these variable seed speeds, like, it doesn't happen every time, but I've had way, way, way more seeds give me good items early, but still keep something important from me that will still cause me to, like, run the entire wreck ship or something like that. Yeah. So I think Sloaters is like, hey, I'm up here. I was planning on going to wreck ship anyway. I'm just going to go ahead and go up here and at least check the first 2 items and then make a decision after that, which I think is a good call.
Yeah, has gravity suit, has grapple beam. Oh, man. Wow, that is a beautiful pickup right there. Nice full refill of energy. This getting across the moat is no problem. Phantoon should be no problem. Sloaters 4 E-tanks, all 10 missiles and 25 supers.
Yeah, and in the meantime, we have Cross finding another energy tank, which it doesn't always mean that it's trying to force you to hell run, but unless I'm misunderstanding how it works, it will put more energy tanks, like, generally available to you if it wants you to do some hell runs. So it doesn't necessarily mean that that's going to be the case, but we could be in a situation where, you know, Varia could be down here at one of the heated rooms or something. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely the case. It does do that. It does give you more energy tanks when it wants you to run across to some of the heated rooms. Here's Sloaters coming into Phantoon while cross product waiting for Kraid to do his little dance. Really nice super missile only quick kill there for cross product.
All right, Fanny being somewhat friendly here, given a opening round mid pattern. Sloater's not getting enough missiles though. This is the interesting thing. They got a ton of supers early, but that's not going to help you a lot with Phantoon. So he's having to do a quote-unquote low percent style fight with only 10 missiles, and he's got to manage how many drops he gets from the flames. So he's going to 3-round this here. He should be able to clean it up here now with a full barrage.
Yeah, in that case, what you really want from Phantoon is the fast mid pattern, so you can pick up those missiles and from the flames to refill. All right, cross product picked up missiles there after Kraid. Oh boy, I forgot what boss he was fighting. Wanted to say Phantoon, but it's definitely the wrong for cross product here. So nothing very interesting or nothing progressive there. Will cross product go? Okay, not going to go to ice first. Going to go down over and check high jump.
Yeah, we're going to have one item location here. We're also going to have one at the ice beam location here in a second for him. Sloaters is coming in on one of the locations that is technically not a Chozo statue, but it is a Chozo location in the logic. We got 3 in wreck ship. The first is going to be screw attack.
Yeah. See, and there's that energy tank you were talking about earlier. Go up to the ice beam and you come back. If there's an energy tank down here, you get a free refill off that heated room run. Cross product not going to be taking advantage of that.
All right, Sloaters now gets to go check the energy tank location. This location, I've seen some people, depending on what they find here, if it's something that's really good for progression, sometimes they'll make the choice to skip bowling. Because bowling, in this particular randomizer, you get, you know, only one item, although you can make the mathematical argument that it's, you know, more likely chance of it being a value item.
Yeah.
But we'll have to wait and see. Let's see what he's got back here.
Well, what you can do is you can always check up top, and that is much faster than going through full bowling if you really want to see what's there or you want to have that information. And that, if you end up going and doing it, will cost you a little bit of time, but it will cost you less time than just going there.
Well, we got multiple energy tanks coming up on the hell runs, so
yeah,
you could read that as the seed, you know, expecting you to hell run for a progression item. But again, it's hard to say right this second. So Cross is not really super worried. You know, he didn't need to check this ice location first to refill. He's got tons and tons of health, so he'll make this hell run very, very easily. And then we'll see if we got anything good at Bubble Mountain or Croc.
Yeah, 9 E-tanks plus 1 reserve. I think he's only picked up 1 of the 2 reserves that we've seen. So,
Cross forgot for a moment there that they patched that room so that you can get up there with that high jump boots.
Yeah, that is a modification in that the Varia randomizer does. The normal game is not like that. So that is specific to this randomizer.
I'm just going to make a quick prediction. Obviously, you can use your skill to get around things, but let's imagine for a moment that Varia ends up being down here at Cross, you know, where Cross is, either at Bubble or Croc.
Right.
If it's down here, there's a decent chance that, depending on how the variable seed speed things rolled out, there's a decent chance that we might find high jump boots here at bowling. or maybe in Meridia. So, like, technically speaking, let's imagine Cross collects these 3 items. He does get Varia, but doesn't get high jump boots. The game expects you to go find high jump boots logically before getting into Lower Norfair. So, it'll be kind of interesting to see where it actually plays things.
Yeah. All right, Sloaters going in over here.
Oh, wow. There's Varia right there. So a very nice ship. And that's going to put Cross quite behind. Sloaters has both suits, and if he even chooses, I guess depending on how much he wants to search for items, he will not have to do the farming that Cross Product is sitting here doing now, because there won't be any hell runs.
Yeah.
So this is a huge advantage for.
Yeah. I'm thinking about this. I'm going like, oh man, can Cross even make this up? Like, what is Sloaters missing at this point in time to complete this game? Ammo, charge, 4 energy tanks. Sloaters can complete the game on 4 energy tanks. That's maybe high jump boots and speed booster-ish, but ice beam, that early ice beam means you can ice clip through Meridia. Yeah, I don't think there's much of anything that Sloaters wants at this point in time. Charge beam.
Yeah, and there's the charge beam there.
Wow.
That you see on Cross's screen, and you know, I don't necessarily think that, like, in some situations you might want to skip checking locations, but I think Sloaters might be thinking, you know, there's a good chance that I'll find charge in Upper Norfair, because I believe the logic is forced to give charge beam before you fight Croc or Ridley. So he might choose to go check those locations. But then again, I mean, I don't know what he's going to do. He could end up going to Meridia right now. We'll just have to kind of wait and see.
Yeah, I don't know. I think with both suits, I think I would want to go to Ridley over Dragon.
True. He can definitely do, you know, a Lower Norfair with this item loadout. He's very capable, especially having bombs. It means you can check the screw attack location.
Well, he also has. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just gonna say he's already got ice beam, so he can technically get through every section already. So he's probably mostly only concerned about charge at the.
Yeah, and he only he does have a max of 40 super missiles, and it's only 30 to take down Ridley here. So, yeah, I'm not. I think this is reasonable going into the warehouse here, because as you were saying, there's probability that the charges here. So killing Kraid first before going down to Ridley. But I think the.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I think the play is to go to Ridley.
Yeah, I would agree with you, especially with Sloater's skill set. We just saw the logic power bombs for Cross, but then at the same time, Sloaters did something kind of fascinating. He checked, using X-ray, he checked the minor item location in the Key Hunter room in Kraid's lair, which suggests to me that maybe he's considering just doing an ammo search, you know, and skipping charge. I think Asher pointed out in chat a little bit ago that it's very rare. You don't often see seeds in Chozo in particular where picking up a bunch of ammo is like better than getting charge. It does happen occasionally though if charge is in a really unfortunate location. We know it's not, but Sloaters doesn't know that. So he might already be thinking like, man, I've got so many supers, I might just keep collecting and just kind of skip some of these major locations.
Yeah, speed booster though for Sloaters might be out of the way. You know, it might not be on his radar.
Right. And Tracy also making a good point. Even though they have a ton of supers at the beginning of this seed, it's also looking for minor items in Chozo is a little bit different because there's so many item locations that now have energy tanks and reserves and stuff too. So it just kind of depends. Like every seed can be different.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, going to some place where you expect like where we're talking about Aqueduct, right? Where the snail clip, you know, there's 2 miners in there usually. Oh nope, suddenly there's 2 A tanks in there, and you were a little short for say Bot Wound, and now you're just done. You got to go and farm in that room next door.
Right, and someone in chat can correct me if I'm wrong, because there are a few things about this mathematically that I don't fully understand, but I don't think the playoff nor the season, for that matter, I don't believe the seeds have a set ratio for ammo. I believe it just depends on each seed. So it's not like you're definitely going to have a 3-3-1 ratio or something like that. I think that each seed can have like, you know, maybe a few extra supers or a few extra power bombs or something like that. So you can't always count on what you're going to be able to get.
No, I think actually, I think there is actually a ratio. And it looks like Tracy posted 3-2-1.
So does every seed have literally the same number of power bombs and stuff? Because I thought that wasn't the case.
I don't know that it has the same number per se, because it's just the ratio that it tries to lay down. So it depending on how it lays out things, I think you can have a different number.
Right, there we go. Yeah,
seeds, but it's going to be guided by that ratio. You can, if I don't know if we're going to get to it, but at the credits, it actually usually says what the ratio is for these things.
Right. So in other words, you can sort of have a guide to know roughly what you think it might be, but you can't know for sure. And so sometimes relying on ammo is can be tricky when you get into the later portions of the run.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the thing, what I was talking about earlier with getting so many supers with this thing, right? And that ratio, having so many supers earlier, right? You can get a seed where like you're just super starved. And this seed has not done that to the runners, and that's really, really nice.
For sure.
The worst thing to be starved on is power bombs, but coming into the game and going into the late game and being super starved just absolutely sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but it can occasionally. I think game 1 of my quarterfinal match, I ended up with like 90 regular missiles before I even had like 15 supers or something. So, you know, it can happen. It's not super, you know, common. But crossproduct found space jump at the Ranomizer location. And as some people in chat pointed out, I would agree. Space jump's a great item, but at the same time, for the amount of time invested, it's a loss. So Sloaters definitely won't be going there.
No, so. Sloaters just picked up Charge Beam. He's done. He is absolutely done. He's been judiciously checking these Chozo statues, and now he's got what he's looking for. I think he's done. It's Ridley time for Sloaters, and once he defeats Ridley, he's not going to be checking anything in Meridia.
Yeah, he's going to check this last item, and then I would assume take the new routing down to Lower Norfair. He's going to be getting this super missile and then this power bomb pack here shortly. He's going to be gravity jumping into Lower Norfair, but I don't know if he'll check anything else in terms of, he'll probably check maybe the Ridley item. But I don't know if we're going to see him. I wouldn't anticipate seeing him go to Screw Attack.
Yeah, this, oh no, absolutely not Screw Attack. This not unreasonable. It's quote-unquote on the way, as you described it there. And it gives the option for either Space Jump or the High Jump Boots. Again, you know, what Sloaters is missing are those really, really nice movement items. And those finding any one of those there at that at Waybeam is basically just gravy for sloaters.
Right.
So.
And you know what I'm excited about? If you look at his loadout here, this is the best possible scenario because I never hardly get a chance to do this in randomizers. And there's only a few people in the league that I'm aware of that even run this strat to begin with, but he does have the loadout to be able to do the static 9 worst room in the game low ice percent strat, which is super awesome. I'm serious. I think we're gonna see him. I think we're gonna see him de-equip wave. Go for it. He might not. He might just do the regular one. But if I were him, I would take wave off and run it.
Well, here's a cross product with gravity suit. Gonna be really, really upset when he goes up into the wreck ship and finds that Varia suit. Where is cross product going? Back across. Is cross product? He's going to Meridia. Oh boy. Gonna be really upset when he finds that Varia suit in the wreck ship.
Looks like Sloaters is going to opt instead to do the wall jump again. So this is very, very tight. He's done it many, many times. He's very good at it, but no matter how many times you practice something like this, it can still take a little bit. So he'll either do this, or if he decides to give up on it, he'll do an infinite bomb jump. But there we go. Very nicely done.
Yeah, that is a really, really tight wall jump. And no option for the spring ball jump this time around. Yeah, cross product going into Meridia. We know that this is an awful play based on what Sloaters has already found. This is unfortunate for cross product. I wonder if he thinks he may be behind, having found the gravity suit where he did, and then says, oh, I gotta go into Meridia to try to catch up.
Yeah, I don't know. He could be hoping, like to your point, he could be hoping that it's just, a Varia at Shack Tool kind of situation.
Yeah.
But as we know, it's not going to be that. So he's fallen further behind. Not because he's playing badly. He's playing really well, actually. Just the way the routing decisions and where the items ended up being kind of panned out.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I don't mean to imply that anybody's playing poor.
Oh no, I didn't take that way. I just meant like, I think he's playing good. He's just behind because he can't do anything about where the items were.
Yeah, no, it's that is randomizer. Frankly, you can absolutely fall behind because your opponent decided to go up red tower and you went down. And that's exactly what happened here. Sloaters went up and cross product went down, and there were 2 suits up and no suits down. If you switch the placement of one of those suits and put one down and one up, this becomes a completely different seed, a completely different race.
You are 100% right. In the meantime, one of the greatest things about getting all those supers when you get a seed that gives them to you is you get a very comfortable Ridley fight. Sloater's wrapping that up very quickly with 30 supers, and he's going to check this location. What do we got? Ooh, some speed booster action.
Yeah, no high jump, so that is going to stunt his jumps for the rest of the game. But
yeah, the only way that we will see him pick up the high jump boots, I guess, is if it happens to be at the Dragon location. I'm not even 100% sure if he's going to check the Dragon location anyway.
Yeah.
Although I probably would, just because it also has a chance to be Plasma Beam.
We'll find out here from cross products what it is, because I do believe that cross products absolutely going to check it. So yeah, that's those supers, fastest DPS on Ridley. So just 30 of them take Ridley down. Yeah, There's a nice speed ball there for Sloaters. Ooh, cross product using the ice shield there.
Great grapple kill as well.
Yeah.
Nicely done.
That wasn't really nice. That's so nice to see. Kind of one of those not normal usage of this beam special modes, special attacks. There's Spring Ball for cross product. A really, really nice item to have, but not what cross product wants to see.
No, unfortunately, and as you and I both know, he's not going to find anything that he specifically is going to make him, I guess, make him happy, you know, in terms of the race. Although I would assume that I'm actually not 100% sure. Somebody in the chat would probably know, or maybe you know, Serb. If you have the gravity suit, does the logic specifically expect you to do lower Norfair without high jump boots, or does it still force to give it to you at some point before you get there? Or is that only if you have Varia only?
I think that's if you have Varia only.
So basically, there could be high jump boots at the screw attack location in this particular seed. We just don't know because Sloaters didn't go there.
Yeah,
but yeah, I don't think Cross is going to find anything that's going to make him feel good about you know, where the item locations ended up being.
Yeah, the seeds, the randomizer does not force that high jumpless lava dive. So if you have gravity, I think it's okay with not giving you high jump boots to get into lower Norfair.
So what do you think we're going to see at these other Meridia locations if Cross checks it?
Well, high jump, really. Plasma beam is going to be in here somewhere. This is interesting because Cross went into the first one that doesn't. Well, actually, this is not major minor, so this doesn't. Neither of the sandpits matter. He's going to go over here to Shack Tool. I mean, this plasma beam or high jump are really the only kind of things. Beyond that, I think it's E-tanks maybe that are left. E-tanks or ammo.
I can't remember how many we found that were logic E-tanks.
Yeah, Cross has picked up so many along the way. And I know a good number of those are just from ammo locations.
Well, let's have a look here. We'll get to chill with Shack Tool for a moment, and then we'll see what he's got for us today.
Yeah, I think this will be plasma beam or an E-tank. We've seen.
Oh, go ahead.
So we've seen the reserve that is a Chozo statue. So
that's right. So out of basically 4 races, because we have 2 races, but 2 people are running each time. We've seen Shack Tool 3 out of 4, so that's a pretty good ratio.
That is pretty good. Sloater's gonna make quick work of Phantoon here.
Ooh, plasma.
Yeah. That's a really, really nice weapon pickup for cross product there. The sad thing is it's just not enough. It's not compelling enough for the time that he's spent to go get it.
Yeah, it's not feeling good for him. I don't think right now.
It's the main reason you don't see Spring Ball in anything but 100% and GT Classic, right? Because you have to get it in 100%, and you're just giving it in GT Classic. So
that's right.
No other category wants to spend the time to go get it.
Yeah, none of the major categories. It is picked up in some of the extension categories and other things, like you have to get it in Nintendo Power percentage and some of the other ones. But yeah, not a place most people want to go in a traditional speedrun unless they're forced to, just because of how slow it is, obviously.
Yeah, that's fair. I wasn't thinking the extension categories, but yeah, that's absolutely.
No, you're right. All the major categories, like the main, categories we see on Deer Tier, not very many of them are picking up Spring Ball.
Yeah, Sloater Skier does have Speed Booster, so I think we're going to Speed Booster kill Dragon. I think that's where he's going to be most comfortable. So I think this this sadly wraps it up for us. Once again, Sloaters on his last boss. There's those high jump boots. Yeah, see, these are the movement items that you really, really wanted. And just blech. The other thing I don't think we've seen is that Spazer beam. So that could be hanging out somewhere here.
I guess Spazer's at, unless I'm miscounting, Spazer's got to be at Screw. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
I think we've seen every other location, unless I'm mistaken.
No, I think you are correct. With Plasma Beam there, we should have seen them all. Cross product. Okay, gonna go to the Forgotten Highway here. It's not unreasonable as far as routing.
So yeah, Sloaters is done. He's not gonna find Plasma or any other beam or anything like that, but the good news for him in terms of, speed, like he's not worried about being able to finish. He's not worried about the Mother Brain fight. He's got tons of health and stuff. But if he elects to, and I actually think it'd probably be a good decision, would be to fill up at the ship before going to Torian, because you can supplement all that damage with those supers against Mother Brain.
Yes. I actually, if you didn't say that, I was gonna say that. So yeah. He's most certainly, with this ammo loadout of only 5 supers, I think we're absolutely going to see him fill up at the ship.
Yeah, I mean, he might not, but at the same time, the ship refill going to Torian is always a point of contention about what's the best decision and what's not. But I think in this scenario, having that many supers and that beam combination, I think it would definitely be a good call.
Yeah, I guess he can rely on drops to get the rest of his ammo that he needs, but I don't know. Like you said, this having all that much extra ammo for Mother Brain is, in my mind, it's worth the 15 seconds that it's going to cost you to fill up at the ship.
Holy moly, I think Sloaters might have just had the single worst door transition I've ever seen. That door is actually a rough one anyway, but he had swung the camera over all the way. That had to be like, Cross. 90 plus.
Cross, you have to beat Phantoon for the items to appear, my man. Yeah, please don't watch me stream then. You think that was the worst door transition?
Well, the thing is like, that's not a criticism. It's just the way that room works. There are a lot of doors that you literally could never get a door transition like that.
Oh, yeah.
He just happened to go to the right with that grapple a certain way, and when he grappled back over, the camera didn't move.
Yeah.
So it had to move all the way, like the entire way across the top. I've never seen that happen before. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Like I said, don't watch me stream. You'll see some really bad door transitions.
Well, some of the worst door transitions in the game, on a quick aside, some of the worst ones are actually you can't see them.
Yeah.
Like when the screen goes completely black, like in sand pits and stuff. Like some of those sand pit ones can be really bad if you're not paying attention.
Yeah. those are awful. All right, cross product. Killing Phantoon here. Using the charged plasma beam. Not a bad way to kill Phantoon. Doesn't have waves, so not an automatic 3-round.
No, not at all. He got real fortunate with a slow, not a slow pattern, but a slow eye close. He was not in position to get that last mid, but Phantoon was pretty kind and stayed with the eye open for a little while there.
Yeah. Oof. And Sloaters. Look at this Torian. First Metroid room. Other than that stop at the end there, that was picture perfect. Couldn't ask for a better room.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a very fast seed for Sloaters. I feel like I say that every time he races.
That's because it's Sloaters.
That's right.
It did fill up at the ship there, which you and I think both agree that is probably the best call.
For sure. Definitely in this situation.
Yeah, look at this. Going into Mother Brain here, 50 supers, 15 regular missiles. Those we're going to use on Mother Brain 1, plus 7 of those super missiles. He's going to have, what, 40? He's got 2, 3 more doors to open. The good door, the 2 red doors. So, yeah, he'll have 45? No.
What I think he'll do...
He'll have like 40 of those left over.
I think he will most likely super the next 3 doors.
Yep.
And I think when he kills Mother Brain 1, unless he just wants to fire all 15 of his regular missiles, the fastest way would be to unload 9 and then 9. 6 regular missiles to kill the tank. 3 to get up to the 18 projectile ratio or whatever number. It's hard to explain.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, but other people might not. And then 9 supers. So he's probably going to have 30, 30 something when he starts the fight. Unless he unloads all the regular missiles.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the regular missiles. To me, I don't think there's a point in keeping them.
They're probably still faster than his beam combination.
Oh yeah.
We'll have to see though.
Absolutely, but I don't know. It's how many of those do you keep versus, the supers. Here he's doing that GT Classic Zeb skip again. So there's a couple of supers gone. So we'll see.
Yeah, he's doing the 9 and 9. Unfortunately, he just got sniped, and he also used 3 or 4 on the Zeb. So he's got a little bit less, but he's got over half of this fight's damage and ammo. So he's in great shape.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I might keep 15 of them here until I see catch up. But it looks like he's just going to unload all of them. So go ahead.
One thing I was going to say, and I understand why people do hold 15 for the catch-up phase.
Yeah.
I totally get it. But in particular, after you run a lot of low percent, which Sloaters has done a lot of low percent, one thing you'll kind of figure out is the catch-up phase is actually kind of the easiest phase of the fight in terms of your ability to not have to move very much and still get charge shots in rhythm. So a lot of times you'll see people like Sloaters, for example, just unload everything because he would rather use charge shots during this particular sequence. But if you're like low on health, I can totally understand wanting to get all 15 of those supers during the catch-up phase just so you can get through it fast and not be at risk.
Yeah, I don't do a lot of low percent, so a lot of GT Classic.
It's pretty fun, sir. You should get into it, man.
GT Classic and 100%. Those are plus randomizer. That's about what I do.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now to the point where sloaters27, unless the strangest of things were to happen between now and the end, doesn't really look like there's anything left for him to worry about. So he's going to take down this quarterfinals matchup 2-0. And great performance by him in both races. Really good performance by Cross in this race in terms of execution. Unfortunately, the sort of item checks that he did not go in his favor in this one. Although they definitely could have. Had Varia been somewhere else, this could be a totally different story. But Cross had a great season. He went 8-1 in the regular season. I believe he's our 4 seed.
Yeah, that's a spectacular record, by the way.
Yeah, I think he had the best in terms of how the league did average times for seeding. I think he had the best average time of all the runners that had an 8-1 record. So very successful season for him. Congratulations to him to making it to the quarterfinals. And Sloaters is going to move on to the semis and see if he can win another matchup to move one step closer to defending his title.
These, I said we would be on the edge of our seat the entire time here, and I think we kind of were, barring what happened in that first match. this seed placement was unfortunate for cross product and the route that he chose, but I still think we saw a lot of really good speed running here tonight.
Yeah, both runners doing great. Cross doing the ultra Craigasm screwfall there. Gotta love to see that.
Yeah, that's that moonfall.
People commenting on me doing commentary tonight. I'm here to spy on my potential opponent, and I got a lot of good info. It really helped me figure out how to play when I play Sloaters. What I learned is that Sloaters is just as good as I thought he was. So there you go.
There we go. Once again, Sloaters having the speed tech, Japanese text. Absolutely the fastest way to play. Fastest text in Super Metroid.
Saving those frames.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well, Squeak, I don't feel that way, but I don't mind being the underdog. It's not the first time.
Yeah. No spring ball, so no blue bomber for Sloaters this time. Just using the regular Shine Spark there.
Hey, serious question, because I just don't know.
Yeah.
Can you do a blue bomber if you don't have high jump boots, or is it like impossible to get the vertical height or whatever?
Yeah. High jump is what I meant, but yeah, I think he can't get enough height there.
Okay, that would be interesting. Isn't there maybe it's fusion or zero mission where you can use the spring ball, or you can like do a shine spark in ball form or something?
Yes.
That'd be kind of cool if that was in this game.
I think that's in both Zero Mission and Fusion. Because I know Zero Mission definitely uses that. I ran that. I tried to run that. We'll just say I pretended in their any percent tournament this past summer, and that's in there. When you get the high jump boots, you get Spring Ball for free.
Nice.
And so when you have the speed booster, you can do some crazy stuff. And actually, there's a like a zip across 3 rooms that you do with that. So yeah, it's really cool.
Well, Sloaters would love that because Spring Ball is his favorite item. But GG to the Sloaty with an official SRL time of 51 minutes and 43 seconds. That is a hot time, ladies and gentlemen. Very nicely done. And he's going to win.
Saving about.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was to say he's saving about 3 minutes off his last run.
Yeah, and very well executed. Made a lot of great choices and showed us some really cool tech. In particular, that's the wall jumping. Worst room of the game is very difficult. So great job to him.
Yeah, I mean both of these runners have shown us great, excellent technique. And it just didn't work out for Cross tonight with the way these seeds were laid out. So, we'll see though. Sloaters now has to battle Kip. We'll see what that guy can bring to the table.
Man, if you guys think that if the people in the chat think that I'm worried, then they apparently don't know me very well. But Sloaters is definitely the favorite in the matchup against me. Let's not get it twisted. But if y'all think that I got a 0% chance to win, then apparently y'all don't pay attention to anything.
I don't know. I would put you versus Sloaters at just about even money.
Well, I think he's, in all seriousness, I wouldn't just say this to be deferential. I think he's the favorite to win the whole thing with good reason. I mean, he won last year.
Yeah.
He's extremely experienced, great runner. But this is actually fun for me because I love playing the best people because I feel like you don't really have anything to lose. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
You just kind of get in there and have fun. So this is exactly what I was hoping it would be, and I'm looking forward to it.
So, yeah, there's that ammo distribution, 2.9, 1.6, 1.0. So you can see the actual ratio there that it ended up using in the particular seed, which is roughly that 3-2-1 it was trying to get to.
Yeah, pretty close there. Yo, look at the exact 16 seconds trying to align those doors. I bet like 3 of those seconds were that one room at the top of Everest.
Yeah. So, 0 special beam attacks. Will not be true for cross product here. So I think we'll see cross product finish this out. I don't think he has quit. And we'll see if Sloaters is going to come in and join us.
Yeah, if Sloaters wants to interview, I think it'd be really good. It'd be a nice hype discussion before our matchup coming up soon.
Yeah, it'll be like the dude in those old WWE interviews, holding the microphone in between the two of you while you just trash talk your way through the interview.
Well, you know, I gotta say, Sloaters did come in my stream a few days ago, and he told me that I was definitely not gonna win the playoffs. So you know, I love the trash talk. I think it's fun to have a little friendly competition. So we'll see how.
Yeah, there you go. There's people putting Macho Man Randy Savage in the.
Look, all I gotta say is I've been maligned from the top to the bottom of the Rando League, and I'm talking to you, head of the league, Tracy M. Okay? I'm just kidding.
This is fantastic. Oh. Glad I signed up for this. I know I've been very sparse in commentary this season, but
Cross has not forfeited or anything in the SRL, so
no,
not
he's
sure
not.
if he's going to continue. Okay, there he goes.
He just did. All right, so it looks like unless these guys are going to hop in, that might be the end of our show tonight.
Yeah, that was a great, fun set of races to watch. The only thing is, I don't really root either way. You know, I'm just hoping for good matches. The only thing that I get a little bummed about when we don't have a third game is the boss randos are really, really fascinating. And we've only had a few match number 3s. Maybe I can only think of 2 so far in the playoffs. But those boss randos, really anything can happen. But we will not be seeing that here tonight. Sloaters taking it down 2-0 in convincing fashion. Moving on to the semifinals. And currently we have, I believe, Astra is in the semifinals on the lower half of the bracket. I think Astra was I want to say the 6th seed, and he defeated Canadian Al, the 3 seed, 2-0 in the quarterfinals. So he's in the semis. And then the only other spot left is between Zeb and Punk. Currently, I believe Zeb won game 1, but game 2 and 3 potentially have not been scheduled yet. So unless there's been an update that I haven't seen, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with that.
Yeah, I am absolutely not surprised that Azure is still around. I had the fortune, I guess we'll call it, to race them. They were in my group, and whoa, what a beating I received.
Yeah, he knocked me out of the 2017 randomizer tournament as well, and he has. I know he's made the championship of, I want to say, SM Rat, maybe.
Yeah.
I can't remember. There's been so many tournaments that I can't quite keep them all straight, but yeah, he's certainly capable of winning the playoffs as well. So we got 5 runners left, all of which are very solid, and we'll just kind of have to see what happens. With randomizers, as you said earlier, you just never know.
Yeah, it does look like Cross Product has joined us. How are you?
Hey, doing well. Thanks for commentating, guys.
No problem, Cross. How are you, man?
See Tracy in chat. Thanks to her as well for organizing the tournament and kind of being our liaison with Speed Gaming and making sure everything's all staffed up.
Yeah, Tracy's been awesome this entire season. So, tell us a little bit about those. Well, we'll start with game 1 and then move on to game 2.
Well, game 1, I feel like with Varia at Waterway, I have a couple avenues for victory. Regrettably, I kind of sort of maybe died in X-ray corridor while I had X-ray or while I had a grapple beam. Did that happen?
Yeah, yeah.
That was not good. And I kind of rerouted the entire seed, based on that, and I knew I was leaving behind grapple beam and a bunch of E-tanks, which didn't really turn out to matter too much. I went for a crystal flash clip and to get the shack tool, which had I gotten it, wouldn't have yielded anything good anyway. I don't even know what was there, but yeah, I think with a couple of extra early power bomb packs, I get a blue suit and check water away. And maybe win that race, but I'm also missing plasma beam if I do that, so that's kind of iffy.
Oh, that would have been wild if you'd have done that, dude.
Yeah, the Varia Rando just doesn't give you enough power bomb packs with these settings. We set it for a 3-2-1 distribution, and it always tries to hard gate the first power bomb pack, which pushes the second and third power bomb pack that you need back in the seed. So that wasn't really on the table. The only extra 2 power bomb packs I found were in East Sandpit.
Yeah, in
game and West Sandpit had charge beam, so if I have to pick between one or the other, of course I'm going to take charge beam.
Yeah. In game 1, Shack Tool was just an E-tank, so yeah, you would have been very, very not.
Game 2, I feel like the seed just completely BM'd me in game 2 anyway. And I understand, Slater's a really good runner, and I know that I can beat him if certain circumstances arise. So I understand my win condition, and basically, in order for me to beat Sloaters, I have to take a different route, and that route has to be good. So I go for the different route and hope that it's good. This time, it didn't really pay off. I skipped Red Tower, and maybe if Varya's at Shack Tool, he puts that off, and I can still win. Maybe he dies, so obviously, there's always a chance, right? In Super Metroid, especially in with a top 8 brackets like this, people are going to play a little more risky and maybe not take those saves. So there's always a chance, and you never know where your opponent is. So you got to keep playing, just hope that they died sometimes, which was the case here with me last locationing Varya's too, but. Yeah, it's whatever. Sloaters deserves a win. He's a fantastic runner, and I'm happy to have a little bit off my plate now. I actually have a Crystallis randomizer race tonight as well.
Yeah, I was going to ask about that. You mentioned it last time I was on comm for your race. Can you just tell us a little bit about the other things you're up to these days?
Yeah, Crystallis randomizer's one. It's really good. If you haven't played Crystallis, I highly recommend the vanilla game. It is on the Switch now. If you have Nintendo Online and a Nintendo Switch, you can play the original Crystallis game on your Switch, the NES collection, for free. And
I just saw that they added that, and I was ecstatic.
Yeah, it's a really good game. It's imagine playing Legend of Zelda, but with more plot. I mean, the plot's not great, but with more dialogue, I guess.
Yeah.
The plot's good. Okay, the plot's good, but there are 3 different plots depending on whether you play the Japanese version or play the US version or read the instruction book. It's 3 different plots.
I always thought it to be Secret of Mana-esque as far as the plot goes.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's an action RPG, and imagine playing Legend of Zelda, but there are more RPG elements like Zelda 2, but it's still overhead. Mm-hmm. And also you can shoot your sword if you're not at full health. And you have 4 different swords and you have to kind of figure out which sword is best suited to the situation you're in. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I can't tell you how many hours I spent on that as a kid. And it was my cousins that had it, and they didn't like it because they could never figure out how to get to the vampire, the first boss. So they never ever got out of the first area. And when I came and I started playing it, and I just started trouncing the game, and they were like, "What? Where are you? How did you do that? What is going on?" So
yeah, there are a couple of points where the game has kind of weird triggers, and if you don't know where they are, you kind of end up wandering around a little bit if you've never played the game before. But it's one of those games where if you talk to all the NPCs, you can feel your way around and figure out what to do.
Well, that's what I knew to do. What I did is I was talking to him because I mean the game was basically brand new back then, and if you didn't wander around and talk to everybody, then you didn't figure out what to do because they're either that or you knew your buddy down the street who'd already gotten past wherever you were.
I would say the gameplay is fantastic, and one of the main drawbacks of the gameplay itself is that it kind of hard gates you so that you have to grind pretty much every chapter of the game. But the randomizer fixes that. The enemies scale up with how many items you have, and you always have ways that you can kill them, even if you're under leveled, and they give you extra experience. So like in the randomizer, it's all about the gameplay and all about the fast-paced movement. Like if you play a game like Super Metroid, and keep this in mind if you guys are checking out Crystallis streams or watching people try to commentate a race, like there's downtime in Link to the Past. If you don't have Pegasus boots, you're just walking around, you have a free hand, you can look at chat. Like if you're playing Super Metroid, every time you hit an item fanfare, a door transition, an elevator, the streamer can look at chat. Crystallis, there's always something happening. It's a lot more fast-paced, and that's one of the things that I really love about it. Even though I adore Link to the Past, don't worry guys, I'm not dissing Link to the Past, but Crystallis is similar enough that you would feel comfortable with it, but it's a different enough beast that you can really get engaged by it and be impressed by how, what am I trying to say? It's familiar enough that you could get into it, but it would be new enough if you haven't played it before that it would be exciting.
That's cool. Yeah, it sounds like fun.
That's almost a sales pitch right there. I might have to check out the Crystallis randomizer.
For sure. So if you guys are interested in checking any of that out, check out Cross Product Stream. And also, I would assume there's probably a Discord either for Crystallis or the tournament itself or whatever that he could hook you guys up with. Yeah,
I'll post that right now. The randomizer itself actually has a Discord server. Let's see. Actually, it's crystallisrandomizer.com. And that has a link to the Discord server. I'll post it in chat here. I'm a mod, so I can do what I want.
Got him. So, nice. Cross, congratulations again on making it so deep into this year's league. You made it all the way to the quarterfinals, which was great. You went 8-1 in the regular season, which is a fantastic record. I was mentioning you had the highest average, or I guess the fastest average time.
Did I?
Well, that's why you were the 4th seed. In terms of how they did they dropped the top 2, or they dropped the fastest 2 and the slowest 2 of your 8 normal races before boss, and you ended up being the fastest average time for the 8-1 players.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, you had a very successful season. I just wanted to tell you congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Obviously getting knocked out by Sloaters is nothing to be ashamed of whatsoever, and it's always great to calm your matches. I wish you nothing but the best, man.
Yeah, man, maybe we can calm one together. I have some more free time now.
Yeah, well, if we do that, it'll have to be the finals, because I can't calm my next race because I'll be in it. But after that, if I lose to Sloaters, then I'll be free again. So we'll have to wait and see.
Oh, wait! You were just saying how you were gonna beat Sloaters. You were trouncing him. What happened to all that Macho Man Randy Savage talk?
No, I didn't say that I was going to do it. I just said that I'd been maligned from the top to the bottom, Obviously, everybody's against me. Sloaters told me I wasn't going to win. All the people in the chat say that I'm scared. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm ready. It'll be fun.
I'm just trying to get you in trouble, man.
Oh, I know. This is fun. We're just having a good time. I've always wanted to be the heel. This is like my perfect opportunity.
I think that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. Thank you all for coming out. Thank you, Cross Product. Thank you, Sloaters. Thank you, Kip. Thanks, Tracy. And thank you once again for coming out to watch this edition of the Super Metroid Item Randomizer League here on Speed Gaming 2. Be sure to check the schedule for additional races and tournaments that are coming up. There is still more action in the Randomizer League. As Kip said, he will be racing Sloaters coming up. And we have Asder waiting for his next opponent as well. So watch out for all that action. This here is Cerberus, and I'm going to sign it off tonight.